Good morning, it's me. I'm back and I'm on Facebook today. I don't have any reconnecting screens flashing at me, so that's a good sign. I am Stephanie Flath, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and in case you missed me last week, uh, that was all because I couldn't go live on Facebook last week. I ended up on YouTube, but this week I'm here. So thank you, Lord. Thank you, Facebook, for figuring out whatever was going on. So let me know when you're on. I love to know who's here with me. I'm going to refresh my screen a second to make sure that I can see comments. So I did learn that there was a way. Hi, Kathy. I can see Kathy's watching, but I meant to say hi to Marsha because she already said hi. My eyes and mouth did not work well together. Good morning, Nancy. Okay, sorry, I'm still trying to find my thing here. I distracted myself. Good morning, Jamie and Kathy that I already said hi to. It's funny, sometimes I can see when somebody gets on, it says that Kathy is watching, like I just did. And then other times, like I have no clue who's there if you don't say hi. So thanks for saying hi to me. I appreciate that. So I can see comments today. I found out there is a way to see comments when I'm, hi Carrie, when I'm on YouTube, but I still haven't practiced on that again. Hi Sandy, thanks for joining me. So that was quite the learning curve last week, but I really appreciate you. Hi Dot. I really appreciate you joining me on YouTube last week and trying to find me in the first place. And so I found out if that ever happens again, I found out so far, but I haven't tried it, that I can actually, oh, happy anniversary, Kathy. Excuse me. I can schedule my YouTube live and then I can come back and hi Marlene and Janet. I can post the link on my business page on Facebook, so then people can just come and find me on YouTube. So that will be helpful. Even if I have to go live last minute, I still can like set it up and post the link here and then go do my live. So anyway, so learning little bits here and there, even though I didn't go practice again. So I don't remember what else. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. We have a new catalog that went live this morning. Well, I still call it the holiday mini catalog. It's technically September to December. It's mostly through December. Mini catalog. It went live this morning, and there are already some things that are not available because everybody wanted them. The Starry Night or the Star, I don't know what that bundle is called. You know what? I can show you now though, except I don't, where'd I have it? I got it. So here's the new catalog, and I can show you inside. It's funny the things that go quickly. There's this glow-in-the-dark paper that I had no interest in, that one of my customers like, I need to get on right away and get that. Well, it's already not orderable till I think October 2. And anyway, that's just crazy to me. So I'm gonna look and see which bundle it is, if I'm calling it Stars in the Night bundle. Well, I don't know if the bundle is not available, but the suite is not available because there are several different things in the suite. So I don't remember. But anyway, so order as soon as you can because you want to get things. And We don't know when they will be back always. Good morning, Terry. Hi, Marsha. I think I said hi to Marsha already. She was the one I was trying to say hi to in the first place. Okay, so I'm not sure I did my full introduction. I'm Stephanie Flath, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you can find me every Wednesday morning on Facebook Live, doing crafting, 10:30 a.m. And other times you can find me on my website at dazzledbystamping.com. You can find classes and idea for lighting the way. But oh, that's fun. I like that way to use it for use that paper. I thought about getting some just because it's a novelty, but yeah, I don't do Halloween. And also I had a customer that really wanted it, and I thought about getting it. At one time I thought about getting it, and then I didn't think about it again until my big order was already closed, and I was placing orders for customers with their host code that has to be done a totally different way. And somebody had tried to order the Bones bundle, and the bundle is not available until sometime next week. And as soon as it went not available right now, I'm like, ooh, I should have ordered that paper for her. And then and then I couldn't. I was done. So anyway, so today I'm going to be playing with some new product I'm excited about. But first I'm going to do my randomizer. So I have my names loaded. Thank you to those of you who shared my video, even though it was craziness. I really appreciate that. And I actually saw more people's videos shared than like when you do it through Facebook. So I don't know if I don't know how that happened, that I could see it better that way. Thank you for sharing, Marlene. Okay, going to my randomizer. I have names loaded. I have it set up to prevent a winner being chosen multiple times. I know you don't need to know that, but I do. Okay, I'm starting. Marlene, you're my first winner. Congratulations. Marlene VanderZouwen is number 1. I'm going to pick another name and start again. I used this yesterday for when I was drawing names for a new club that's starting. Janet Bignall. Congratulations. You're my second winner. All right. Tell me again, Janet, you're in Michigan right now until when? I'll probably have to ask every time if you win multiple times. I don't retain well, especially when I'm on my live. My mind doesn't work the same when I'm on here. So anyway, okay, going back to here, December. Oh, good. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Oh, but you can't make it to club though. That's a bummer. But I'm glad that you're here. That will hopefully what December is like Christmas. That's like normally when you would have gone, like if you're going to Florida or, you know, something like that. So anyway, thank you for sharing, ladies, and congratulations. And I will get cards out. You know what? I forgot those again yesterday. Not yesterday, Monday. So I have a new time to do my cards. I'm determined I'm going to keep on top of my cards. One of my, I don't know if I told you this last week, my roommate and I, we were talking even before we got to backstage that was a goal that we had. And so I did mail out cards. It had to be yesterday because Monday was no mail. But I completely forgot those cards. They will get out. You know that eventually. Okay, so what I'm using today, I'm going to use the Autumn Leaves bundle. This is, why is it? Oh, it's like reflecting the light of my actual camera. You can see me in the reflection on the stamp case. Oh, that's a little bit better. Okay, so I just thought this this bundle was so pretty. I don't always like to get a leaf set, but somehow one always catches me. So this is autumn leaves, and then here are the dies. These dies remind me of I think they were called Lovely Leaves, and they had stitching around them. These don't have stitching around the leaves themselves, but the greeting things, this one, and then there's this one. They have stitching around it. And then there's these pieces that are stitching. They're kind of cool. I have a list that I need to send out, long list. I know, that's what I feel like the stereotypical builder, like, or maybe he does remodeling. I don't know. The carpenter, like, he's always busy working on other people's houses and he doesn't work on his own. That is me with my cards. It's ridiculous. So anyway, that's the bundle that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to put you down. And the first card that I'm doing doesn't use the designer paper from that suite, but the second one does. Unfortunately, right now, the designer paper is non-orderable until sometime next week. So I will be placing another order next week because I'm wanting to get more of that. But anyway, so the first designer paper that I'm going to show you actually is the Halloween one. There are a few sheets in here that I liked, and somehow I ended up, you're not alone or comfort. I know. Okay, so we need to inspire this in each other, that we so I have an accountability partner now for getting cards out. So that's a priority. So I'm going to be working on that. Anyway, so I'm going to put you down. I'm going to show you the designer paper. It's funny. It was the first one that I worked with. Even though I'm not a Halloween person, it's the first one that I worked with for the swatch that I was doing and whatever when I got a new product. So don't press finish. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, I need my magic wand. I need to unbackwards you, put you upside down, and here we go. Okay, so this is the one that I'm going to be using today. So, oops, I should go this way. So this is called Them Bones. So there is that. So this side I will use. I like sheets like this, but then it's always annoying to try to cut them apart. But I like this kind of, like, I will use these sheets. Possibly could even use like this one. This one's a scene. Anyway, so there's this. And then this says boo and eek in tiny little font all over it. So this is a fun background type of this one I showed you. A background type of paper. There's this one. There aren't tons of them in here that I will use, so I will pass them on to those. This chevron is little bones. So I'll pass on probably this to other people. Oh, this is one of those where you cut it in half so you can use this side and then you can use that side. So this houndstooth is bats. Can you see the bat faces? Why am my camera's tipped sideways or something? It's showing everything sideways. So this is a good background. This is Starry Sky. This is one of the colors that are in here. And then these are bats and moons. All right, so that's this paper. I'll show you the other paper when, I'm just going to dump this on the floor, when I'm using it. So, so this one, so here are my pieces. So I have Cajun Craze and a piece of the designer paper. And, oh, these stamps are just so gorgeous. I love them so much. Oh, I should show you the suite in the catalog, but I don't know where it is. Let's go look here. Autumn Leaves, page 20. I forgot to look up that part. Okay, that's not it. That's wrong. That's wrong. I must have read the wrong thing back here. I'm going to find it on here instead. So I can show you the inside of my catalog now. Autumn Leaves Bundle, page 44. I didn't think that sounded familiar. Okay, so here's the stamp set and a couple different samples. Oh, hi, Jamie. Oh, that's fun. Good job. And then here's the suite. So there's the bundle, these fun embellishments. Here's some oxidized copper, designer paper, a folder, gorgeous designer paper, and then ribbon. The ribbon's gone for longer, like October 23, I think. Was it towards the back? No, 42. Well, towards the back was where you find just the bundle. There's all the list of all the bundles. All right, setting that aside. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to use pumpkin pie with my big maple leaf. So I'm going to stamp this over here. Then I'm done with that. Then I'm going to use the oak leaf. I'm going to use a type of green. I'm using Pretty Peacock. Oops. Just a sec, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. I think it's coming again. Oh, it's allergy time for me. I actually, so I had hay fever a lot when I was, that's what we called it at the time when I was young. Thanks, Dot. I had hay fever when I was young. But then we moved, thank you, Marlene. We moved to a house right next to a field, not long before the first day of school. And I found out I had asthma. And so I actually missed my first day of school. Let's see, it would have been 5th grade, I think, for 4th grade. Because I was having asthma attacks. So I found out I had asthma. Okay, so we got Pretty Peacock. And I'm done with that. And I want Cajun Craze. I switched colors. These aren't the actual colors that I used for my swap. I'll show you my original swap later. But I chose these because I switched to Cajun Craze for my card babe. Did you move somewhere else then? Nope, we lived right there until I'm not showing on screen very well. Just a sec. I'm gonna drop this a little bit. There. No, I just started going to the doctor for it. Well, and then we moved a couple years later. My parents separated and we moved up to Michigan, but I hung on to the asthma. That's not funny, but you know, made me laugh. I don't know why. Okay, so I have my leaves here. Aren't they pretty together? I like that. And now I'm going to put the veins on them. So these are separate stamps. So I'm going to ink up. I need to test this out because it's a fabric pad. Oh, I missed a spot. A fabric pad and a photopolymer stamp. They don't like... Cool, that's good. What were you working on yesterday, Dot? Fabric pad and photopolymer don't always work well together. Oh, I love that black with it. Sorry, I keep reaching across my screen. I didn't place my stamps in a good spot. All right, there's that one. And then last one, birthday cards, cool. I don't use Cajun Craze tons, but it's, I just love that together. Isn't that amazing? I love that. I love the contrast of the black with it. Okay. So I am, you know what? While I have this open, I'm going to do my greeting too. So this time I'm using with a grateful heart. Thank you for sharing, ladies, with dairy flowers. DSP. Oh, daisy flowers, DSP. Gotcha. That's funny. All right, I'm going to put with a grateful heart right there. I love you know I love mixed fonts. Did you notice the mixed fonts here? So there's the scripty that I love, this along with the plain words. I love it so much. Oh, dainty. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Done with that for the moment. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm actually going to tear it. I wanted to do the stamping first because I wanted this look right here that I'm getting by tearing off some of this color. I wanted this contrast. Don't want to tear my words off, though. I should have waited for that, but I did okay. All right, so now I'm going to put my card together. So first, I did not pull my... I forgot this last week, too. Just a sec. I got to go run. I need a... my silicone mat. Good thing I have many of them for all my people that come. Oh, and of course, Old Olive. Of course, I should have known that without even you having to tell me. Okay, so here's my piece and my adhesive. So I'm going to put this down first. I want just a tiny little border here. I mean, as tiny or as big as you want, but I want a little bit of a border here. And then this is going to go down on top of it. So I had this cut down just a little bit, but I knew that I was tearing this so that I could see this design. So I have this, and then we have some new ribbon. Did you guys notice this in the catalog? This is not the ribbon that's part of this suite, but it's my favorite one. So this is yellow and yellow. My words are not coming out of my head correctly. This is vanilla and black. Yellow. Who uses yellow in Stampin' Up? It's Daffodil Delight or Crushed Curry if you're going to talk about yellow. Anyway, vanilla and black gingham. You know I love gingham. It's a little bit wider than the other one, but I don't remember how much. Just a sec. 3/8 of an inch. So only an eighth of an inch wider than the other one. The black and white, I should put my emphasis on the right syllable. The black and white one is only 1/4 of an inch wide, and this is 3/8 of an inch. So I cut my designer paper, not my designer paper. Wow, my words are not coming out correctly. I cut my cardstock the long way. Yellow and black ink. Oh yeah, it would be awesome, but that's not what I had. And it's not even, yellow is not even, hi Dina. Yellow is not even in my card here. I chose not to go with yellow. You know what? I might have this over, not over my words. Let's do it that's better. Look at that. Okay. Yes. And I've been seeing, and you might even see samples. I feel like thanks, Lynn. The ribbon is part of that suite. How did you fray it? The ribbon that is part of the suite. Let me look at the suite again. I don't know, just a sec. I would assume, first of all, the ribbon is gone right now. If you didn't hear that. Oh, okay. So this part you're talking, this picture right here, I don't like that wide of ribbon. That's why I didn't order that ribbon. So how you fray it is you end up, I'm gonna do this right here. So you end up peeling off, well, I don't know if I could do it with this. Well, so this kind of ribbon, there are strands that are going long way, like you see here, and then there are strands that are going this way. So if you start peeling off these end strands right here, the more you pull off, it's like sort of weaved in it. So the more you pull off, the more that you'll get this sort of look. It's kind of like, I don't know. I know I've done it with other stuff before. So you just start sort of pulling at the end. Thank you. I'm glad you like my card. Once I'm popped up, I'll show you my original card. It's the same design, basically, just little bit different paper. So I think that's all that I had to tell you about this. This is 3/8, the other one's 1/4. And this is beautiful ribbon. I love gingham ribbon. Oh, I know what I was saying. In fact, it might. I'm not gonna try. I was gonna try looking, and I'm not going to. So, I forgot who said. Marsha maybe said that yellow and black gingham would be cute. I keep seeing people who they either use their blending brush, or you could actually soak it in dye. Except then it takes a long time to dry. But you can color your ribbon to be the color that you want it to be. So like for Dot, she would like old olive and black ribbon. That would be really cute. So you just have to, you can color it. Maybe markers sometimes. Again, anything wet, you're gonna need to dry or soak or something. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so before I go on with my next card, I want to show you this gorgeous designer paper. So maybe not all of it's here, but it is so amazing. So so it's 6x6, obviously, and there are 48 sheets in here, and so you just get a different, basically you get one sheet of each thing. If you were to compare it to a 12x12 pack of cardstock, is the stamp set available? Yes, it is. Last I knew, I mean, there's going to be heavy ordering this morning because it's live, but when I last looked an hour ago or so, the stamp set and dies were still available. This paper is coming back sometime next week. It's non-orderable right now, but I have it and I'm going to show it. Anyway, so if you were to compare this to like a 12x12 pack of designer paper, you're getting four sheets of this. Like I didn't use one out of this pack yet. Or this one yet. So you get 4 sheets. So truly that's one 12x12 piece. So that means you get a lot more designs, but less of each one. Does that make sense? Maybe red and black gingham will work for my Christmas cards. Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go through this and show you how gorgeous this is. I will be ordering more designer paper next week. If you want some, I can order some for you. Okay, so here is one side, and here's the other. So it's sort of graphic on the back. Here's like sweater weather. It's an SNL thing. I don't know. I don't even think I ever saw that episode, but I see it on there. Here's the back. Pretty peacock. This one's turned. That was probably my fault. All right, here's a cool... Yeah, this one is one that I just pulled out. So here's a cool scene. This one is probably copper clay. Can you see there's gold in it? So this is a specialty also. Let me see, or maybe it's considered copper. I don't know. Let me see what it says. Just a sec, I'm gonna look on the back. So it is specialty, so it's more expensive. It is 15 instead of 12.50. Yeah, I like the peacock side too. It does not say if it's gold or if... Oh yeah, it says includes copper foil. So it's considered copper. I just look at it and think gold. Because it's with color, so you can't really tell. So this is Moody Mauve and the copper. Look at this one. I love this one. I don't know which way is the right way, but I love this overview of all the trees. This was the first design that I used. And then there's Dot's Old Olive with it. So this is peacock, and then here's, excuse me, this is peacock and Moody Mauve with the copper. These are pretty too, but I've not used any of these yet. It didn't go with what I was trying to do. Again, pretty peacock with it. Okay, these are really fun. This seems like a step away from fall just a little bit. And so I would want to do this. I don't know. I would have to think through this. But I have to tell you, one of my demo friends is part of my secret stampers group, and used this for her secret stamper recipient with the birds. Oh, what are they called again? You know, it's my favorite. Bird's Eye View. So this was awesome. So it is great prints. Okay, so here's copper clay. Here's more leaves. These are the oak leaves that never turn a pretty color. They just turn brown. But it's Michigan. It makes sense, you know. Again, Moody Mauve. This, I don't know that I would ever use this. I don't know. I'd have to think long and hard to figure out what I want to do with this one. Clearly, this says masculine to me. I just don't know what I'd do. Okay, so this is, I think, Old Olive and Pretty Peacock with the copper. This one's a gorgeous one, of course. This one looks, it looks soothing to me. Sort of blurred a little bit. Old Olive with copper. Here's more books. It's funny, these books have all the colors in it. I know this pack is amazing. So this is like the Moody Mauve. Here's Peacock. Here's the copper clay. It's just sort of a cool look. I like it. And then there we go, vanilla and copper. So this pack has vanilla in it. It's not, the neutral is not white. Okay, so done with that for now. So now I'm going to do my card. Oh, first, I remembered I wanted to do something. So I just jump right in with my already cut cardstock and whatever. Yeah, it's amazing. I always jump in with my cardstock that's already cut, and for anybody who might be Oh yeah, I like that idea, Kathy. Could say something about, use for Father's Day and say something about sitting in your easy chair. I like that. That's good. So our colored cardstock, unless you buy specific cards and envelopes, it doesn't come already cut. And I rarely share like this part of it. So I wanted to do this really quickly. So for those of you who are, I'll say mathematically challenged, but sometimes it's just like using a ruler. I don't know if that's considered math, but we'll call it math today. And sort of question everything. So 8.5 by 11 is a perfect size of cardstock for making 2 cards. Either way you cut it in half, you get 2 cards, okay? So this is just a quick hint. If you don't do this already, almost always, unless I think, well, I might want this without any score lines in it later, I almost always score my cardstock first, because then I score it once and cut it once and I have 2 cards. So I don't have to cut and then score 2 different cards. So anyway, I'm going to do this in a normal cut. Well, no, I'm going to do it the other way because that's the least common way to do it. So I'll show you the least common way. So in half this way is 5.5. In half the other way is 4.25. And you can't see it well right now, but I always have a little line for my 4.25 and my 5.5. I use my Sharpie. In fact, I'm just going to use it again. Because I use those lines all the time. And it just sort of helps my eye come right to where I need it to be. Because if I'm using this cutter, which I actually did get making sure it's dry. I did get a big cutter. His name's Carl. That's actually the brand. Todd says says I'm working with Carl, like he walks by. It's just funny. He's a goof. You can go through many sheets of it. But anyway, when I'm doing a lot of my stuff, I'm either cutting or scoring at both of these, 4.25 and 5.5. So I'm going to score first at 4. Actually, this is 5.5 because I'm doing a long card. So I score it, and I did do that a couple times back and forth. Sometimes your scoring blade gets a little bit dull or whatever. Yeah, definitely when you're doing a bunch of cards. So I always do that. And then we're going to cut. Now when I cut, I only do it once, because if I come back and miss just a little bit, then I'm taking a little tiny slice off and causing myself more problems. But that's funny. It's nice to pre-score. Oh yeah, I already did that. Yeah, it's funny. Todd will jokingly kid that I spend more time with Carl than him. My cardstock is seeming like it's not even. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so I'm going to use this moment to tell you the rest of my thing. Okay, so you cut one way. Now, but that doesn't mean that I don't come back the other way next time. If you do that, then you're taking advantage of using both sides of your blade. So it'll last longer. Whether you have this newest cutter that we have or the last one that we had, cut one way, don't come back. You don't need to. So cut one way, and then the next thing that you're going to cut, you're going to come back. So only go one way so you don't slice off more. The other thing that you want to do is, I'm going to show you this, because sometimes it's not just your blade that is dull. It might be, I'm going to do it on this one, because this one, no, I guess I'll do this one. Sometimes just your track is full of, like black especially, it leaves lots of fuzz in it. And so here's what I do. So I take a baby wipe, and I open my scissors up, and I don't come with the cut side. I come with the back side of this. And I start all the way on one end of my track and go all the way down. And even though I only did a little bit, there's a little bit in here. And then I also need to unhook the thing so you can't really see. Just a sec. Then I take the tip of it and come in here and get up this little bucket of fuzz that was right in here. So I do this regularly, especially if I'm cutting my cardstock a lot, or cutting a lot of cardstock, I should say, because I hate fuzzy edges, and it really does collect in here. So if you've not cleaned in there, you're going to want to do that. And it will just make everything look better. Okay, so now I have my card scored and cut. I can fold it in half, and our bone folder is amazing to get a nice good crease on here. And if you happen to not be centered correctly, you can always, I'm going to do it off here because it gives a better, it's better when there's not cushion under here. You can always like line it up correctly so that it is centered correctly, and see how it's sort of gapped here and not just folded down. Then I can hold it and take my bone folder and crease it correctly where it's supposed to be in the middle. Okay, so my card's ready. I just realized I need to clean my stamp because I'm going to use the same stamps. For anybody who has not ordered Stampin' Mist in a while, it only comes in the big refill bottle now. There is no longer a 2-ounce one, if you didn't know that, if you haven't ordered in a long time. But that's okay. All right, I'm done. Now I need to, so this, I'm just using this for a hard surface. I want a hard surface, not, well, and it needs to be a, what's the word? A waterproof surface is what I need. I could use a plate, but I want something flat. I don't want something rounded. So, sorry for talking over my wiggling, or my messing with stuff. So I'm going to do a baby wipe technique. If you've been with me for a long time, you've seen it many times. It's probably my favorite technique because it's so gorgeous, and fall is always the perfect. Well, the cushion, you're not talking this, you're talking my cushion. I actually was given a great big, it's like a Stampin' Pierce mat, a great big mat somebody got. It's not ours, it's contraband. But it's the full size of my grid paper. So it's helpful. I always use just our normal Stampin' Pierce mat when I'm working with you guys, but like here in person. But when I'm live, it's just nice to have something under my whole grid. So I've been using that. Now this is not a cushion. This is my specialty plate, actually. It was something that I knew was flat, and I wanted something flat for this. So I'm going to use, just a second, I need to see this. I'm going to use 3 colors of ink. Often I like to go yellow, orange, red. This time I'm going to start with, I was sort of feeling like I wasn't quite ready for fall when I was doing this, and so I wanted it to be a lot of green in it. So I wanted green, so I'm going to go make this look like green, yellow, orange. So I'm going to be putting a lot of green on here. So what I'm doing, well, first of all, I should explain, in case you've not seen me do this before. So this is going to be my stamp. I'm using this stamp, and I'm making an ink pad right now, okay? So I'm going to dry that off. I don't want the wet on it. So I'm making my ink pad on this baby wipe, and I'm going to drop ink refill, drops of it. Can you see it? Is my hand in the way, or can you see it? I'm dropping a bunch of green down because I want the center of my leaf to be green. Then I'm going to add crushed curry around it. So they don't have to be completely right next to each other because they'll be that sort of wicks. Okay, thanks, Dina. But I don't really want, like, can you see there's white in here? So I don't really want to see white. So I'm gonna fill in there. Now, eventually, when it sits longer, it's gonna go way out to the edge. Like it'll totally just expand. All right, now I am doing pumpkin pie. For some reason, this ink seems thicker, or I'm having to squeeze it harder. So you don't have to have a perfect circle. I'm just doing this because of it makes sense to me, and because of the shape of my leaf. Now, if I was using my oak leaf and making it look like it turned color, even though it doesn't in real life, then I might want it longer rather than a circle. This is not coming out well here. I hope I have a new pumpkin pie refill. If not, I need to put that on my list. I don't know that I need it this big, but I'm going around here all the way. I don't think I had this big of an ink pad before. So I see some white in there. I'm gonna add it. Now, usually I don't show this technique this way. Usually I show like it to be splotchy, but I told you I wanted it to be a lot of green in the middle. So like if you want it to be mottled color or whatever, you could make random dots and then fill in the white with that. But anyway, so here's the check. Oh, it's definitely bigger than my stamp. What you want to keep in mind at this point for inking, just a sec, I gotta find where I'm stamping it on. Whatever way you put it down, you want to aim that same way going forward. Like this can do multiple leaves. And I want to go the same way so I'm not making the color, I'm not making it, what's the word? I'm not muddying it. It's one thing to model it, it's another thing to muddy it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this a couple times because I have room, and because it always makes me sad to waste it. Isn't that awesome? I love that so much. Okay, unfortunately I'm going to waste this because I'm not going to keep going on this until it's just gone, because then you guys would just see me doing the same thing over and over and be sick of me. All right, so here are my leaves. So I have a die to do that, but I also have, when I did it last time, I just couldn't, I couldn't stop. So I did a whole bunch of them and kept going. So I can cut this out. I could just make my background like this. I might just leave that because I'm not using this anyway. So here is my leaf that's all done. I love this. You can do this with so many colors. It doesn't have to be leaves if you just want a different look for some sort of background stamp like that. It works. So I'm going to put my card together now. So this is, oh, here's my piece. Okay, so I'm using one of my DSP that I just showed you. And I have a score line here at 1 inch. So I'm going to fold it on the score line, use my bone folder. And then I'm going to, I love cards that show both sides of the designer paper. I'm going to put that down. So this is what's going to go on my card. So I'm going to put this here. And before I show you too much of the card itself, I'm going to do my greeting. Thank you so much. So this greeting says, autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. So I'm going to ink this up. Perfect. And so this is the die that I used. It just cuts out the, this one just cuts out the center. I mean the bulk of the leaf. But you can die cut if you want the veins in something else. So all of these leaves, we don't have stamps for those. Those are just extra leaves that, so you can, this one too, these. So you can make more leaves if you like more than just these big ones. But anyway, so you can die cut the veins also, but I'm just gonna stamp my veins. And here is the piece that I'm gonna use. The die. All right. Sorry, I'm shaking the table again. I hate when I do that. So we're gonna put this on here, put my frame on here. I'm gonna turn it a little bit. Okay, so 2 tips here. 1, remember your capital E, so my bottom cutting mat, not the platform, not number 1, but number 2, my bottom cutting mat is pulled out. It will help the other one go in. And because I have this turned, this corner is going through first rather than this straight edge. It also will help you use your machines well, whether it's the big one or the small one. If you're cutting into a corner, or not cutting, well, I guess die cutting, but if you're running it through the corner through first, it won't bounce so hard. It won't be so hard to push. Also it will cut better because you're gradually doing this whole long cut rather than just coming straight at it. Okay, so we're gonna push this out. So here's my, can you see the stitching? It's the round, it's the poked stitching, not the lines of stitching. All right, I'm afraid I'm gonna put stuff in my ink pad that I just made. I need to set it aside. Okay, so I have my greeting ready. I have a leaf ready. I grabbed a new one. I didn't realize I had one sitting over there. Okay, so here's what I'm doing for putting this down. I'm going to put my leaf right here, and I'm going to grab my veins again. Won't make that loud. Well, sometimes it still makes the loud cracky noise, but it's not quite so loud, and it makes it so that you don't shoot your top cutting mat across the room also. That happened last week at a class with one of my new people, and her eyes bugged out like she thought she broke my machine. I felt bad for her, but it also made me laugh. I know, I love that mix of green, of font. Okay, I better check this again because it's been drying. All right, it was good. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I have this laying on here, sort of where I want it. And I'm going to stamp. I have not attached it yet. If that worries you, you can put a tiny little piece of adhesive in the middle of it, and then I'm going to show you what you do. If I had done that, oh wow, I didn't even leave a gap. If I had put a tiny little piece of adhesive here, then I could take this and go spin and pick it up, okay? Now, I don't know if you noticed this, I did not leave a gap this time. Usually when you're stamping on two surfaces, which obviously this on top of, this is lifted on here, it's two surfaces. Well, no, this on top of here is two surfaces. Usually when you do that, you end up leaving a gap like this, which I don't like, but so that's why I didn't attach it when I did this. So I can just move it down and line the vein back up, put it where I want it. So that's how I did all my swaps. So I could, so I had it looking the way that I wanted it to. So we'll put this lined back up here. Then we're gonna put, all right, I know I brought my dimensionals. Why do I lose these every single time? I remember seeing my ugly ones that have ink on them. Just a second. Oh, there they are. Okay. So I'm going to put, I'm just going to put 3 on here. This will stay popped up enough. Okay, so this is going to go sort of overlapping this a little bit. I want over here though. I didn't want it in line with my leaf. I wanted it over from my leaf. Okay, so here's my greeting. Now, in this suite, there are embellishments. They're called adhesive-backed speckled dots. Now, let me open it and I'll show you. Okay. So I'm not sure you can see the speckling on there, but there's Old Olive, Moody Mauve. I don't know if that's Very Vanilla or Crumb Cake. I'm going to look just a second. It's considered Crumb Cake. And Copper Clay. So there's 2 different sizes. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And we're going to pick some up. So I'm going to use Copper Clay at the top, then I'm going to use a Big Vanilla down here. Oh, Crumb Cake. It's Crumb Cake down here. And then I'm going to use the Old Olive. I'm going to use a small one here. And that's my card. Isn't that awesome? I love this technique so much. It's so cool. I don't remember all the things that I've done with. I feel like it's mostly leaves, but I know I've done it with other things. Do you guys remember what other things I've done besides leaves? Leaves is most common, but I know that I've tried different mixes. So this is definitely something that you want to experiment with colors. You don't want colors that are too light. It's not nearly as vibrant and like such a good mix or whatever. If they're too light, you don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm done stamping and I'm going to show you, thank you so much. I'm going to show you what I made when I pull it up. So I'm going to upside down me, put you backwards again, and lift you up. Oh, and I forgot I dropped this. Just a second. There we go. Now it's going to be way too high for next time. Okay, so here's the one I just made. And so this is one that I made. Oh, this was my first one. This is what I made for my swap. Obviously, I didn't have enough to do all my swaps in this particular design, but there were plenty of them that I used to do this. So here's this one. And then this is, thank you, Carol. Hi, I didn't see you were on. So this is the one that I made first. So this is the, oops, wrong side. This is the, thank you, Jamie. This is the Them Bones designer paper, the houndstooth. And then here's another design that I used all of, and why I didn't use this one. So this is my actual swap that I did. So again, this is from Them Bones, but there are only 2 sheets, and I used it all up for all my swaps. And then this is Old Olive instead of the Cajun Craze, because this base is pumpkin pie. So thank you so much. So the ones that I made today, those will be what I'm giving away next week. So make sure that you share my video. Thank you for those of you who already did it. And you'll be entered into my drawing next week. Thank you, Marsha. I always, it's trying to reconnect.